tough, man. I am a disaster. Like if I can manage to get through this week without having like a heart attack or some shit, I'll be pretty happy.
All right, that's my goal. Good morning, everyone. This is episode 61 of the Three Body Problem. I believe we should be live on YouTube this week. Can somebody confirm that we're actually live?
We're alive. We're alive.
We're live? Okay, wait. Yep. Yeah, we are live. Costin is checking in from Bucharest, Romania. Uh, Overcoming a bout of COVID. You sound
They
okay.
still
Everything
have
is
that?
fine?
We still have
I
that?
still have it. I mean, someone was like, "What is it? The fifth, the sixth?" I lost count. I don't know if it's a fifth. I think it's a fifth COVID for me. It was a bit rough on Monday, but now I'm feeling a bit better. So maybe not as bad as the first time, which was like 2 years ago.
Good to see you. You sound better than I expected. Juanito, how are you, my friend? Last week we skipped the show. You were busy at Chinacon doing your thing.
Yeah.
Talk to me. What's the latest out there?
I mean, first of all, ChinaCon was phenomenal, so I'm happy to talk about that at some point. But I'll also say, personally, as you may have hot mic'd me in the beginning, it is a rough time. Not for any reason to truly complain about, but LABScon is next week. It is sort of peak time for a lot of the projects that we've been working on to kind of come about, and I'll be very happy to see them come to fruition. But right at this second, I'm a fucking mess. So I hope folks will be very forgiving with me today if I am more ignorant and boisterous than usual.
I am having some. You guys can hear me. I'm having some
Yeah,
camera
We can see you, but
difficulties.
you're like just a blur right
All right,
now.
I gotta switch cameras. You guys go ahead and chat for a minute. I'll be right
You
back.
see?
I was
You see?
ChinaCon, by the way.
Honestly, ChinaCon was great. I am, first of all, infinitely proud of Kristen Del Rosso, who is a good friend of ours, friend of the show, friend of LabsCon, who put this together. She just, out of the blue, not, I think last year was the first one. She just decided to do like a 1 day Chatham House conference that's just dedicated to China. And as much as I might joke and say that, like, that's, I'll make my jokes about China, but it is actually one of the more complicated threats, one of the more complicated topics, and there is like a small cadre of people that really gets it. And she managed to get all of them in a room to get some interesting government folks both years in a row, former ambassadors to China, folks that worked in previous administrations, right? Whether it was Republican, Democrat, and basically to do some scene setting the first year, and then folks talked about the more technical stuff. This year, the talks were just phenomenal. I mean, it's Chatham House. They didn't even announce who the speakers were, so I'm not going to go too deep into it, but I'll say that um, you know it was an impressive collation of different talks on the same subject in a way that made it seem cohesive, that made it feel um, like you could sit there and get a proper understanding, at least conceptually, structurally, of what the problem is. So I won't kind of delve any deeper, just for out of respect for the folks, the terms on which folks spoke. But a lot of the people that we have been a lot of the blogs and stuff that we've been discussing over the past few weeks, folks like Winona's blog, Kieran Green's blog, now NATO Thoughts stuff from May
Mm.
Danowski and Eugenio Benincasa, stuff that Dakota's published. It would give you a good sense of kind of where some of these things were going and topics were being discussed. But I'll stop just shy of breaking Chatham House and just sort of let people have the right levels of FOMO, and hopefully try to make it out to next year's, because Kristen's got a very good thing going.
And the Ryan's back.
Look at
I'm
that.
back. I missed the Chinacon session, but just in time to warm you up for LabsCon is next week. Oh my
Oh my
MG,
lord.
LabsCon is next week. Things are
Yeah.
in train, everything is in flight. We'll do a live episode of the podcast there on the opening night. Anything you wanted to say to prep the people before we jump into the news?
I mean, I don't know what to say at this point about LABScon other than like I'm genuinely excited. The agenda is something that I am interested in paying attention to. So part of my stressors this week are if I don't manage to somehow get my shit together, I don't really get to watch any of the talks. So that's my thing. I really actually want to be able to pay attention this time around and listen to what folks are saying. A lot of a lot of AI stuff properly represented. I'm always fascinated by how the agenda looks by the end of it because I think folks initially assume that it's a threat intel conference, rightly so. But I think that it's what we've actually seen play out over the past few years is an agenda that tends to be much heavier on OSINT stuff, much heavier on like inner workings of gov, much heavier on AI, just things that you just it is of course threat intel. There are of course APT talks, there are of course highly technical talks, but it is not I think a traditional set of topics, and the way they come together is quite fascinating at the end of the day as like a reflection of what the industry is actually interested in. So I'm quite excited to see how all this stuff really